Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use? So today we're going to be talking about the first kit gun I've put together, and that is, very creatively named, the Gut Rattler. So, this is an incredibly basic machine gun, but it just works. Like, that's the thing about this weapon. It just works. It's just good in pretty much every situation I've put it into. It just does the job. And this is made out of the Rattle Guts chamber, the Killstream loader, and the Love Tap grip. So, the build is exactly what you'd probably expect. It's the secondary weapon that's good build. I know that's really surprising, but this is how we're pretty much building every secondary weapon with some variance on what elementals are included, and that's pretty much it. It has incredibly good stats, like extremely high critical chance, really consistent crits, a really good critical multiplier, a solid fire rate, but not too much to make this weapon like ammo inefficient, an incredibly fast reload given its fire rate and magazine size, solid status, especially considering how much crit it has, and then it also comes with a base elemental of radiation, which is really useful for getting rid of like high level buffing enemies bullshit, and it's just really good. Like, being able to build a weapon like this, radiation corrosive, gives you access to just a variety of ways to deal with more situations. And also, because of its really nice fire rate, this weapon absolutely eats nullifiers alive, and you're not going to have to worry about that. Now, before we get into the test, there are a few notes about this weapon. It might look like a laser, and its visual is very nice. However, this weapon is hit scan. The laser is just purely there as a visual effect, so your bullets are always going to be hitting exactly where your reticle is pointing. And the one thing I will say about this weapon is that its recoil is like a little bit up there. It's like a little bit, like you're going to have to get a little used to it, but it's not too bad. It's only really going to be noticeable if you're trying to engage at like much larger ranges than you're usually going to be. Like, if you're trying to snipe with this thing, it's going to be a little rough to fire at full auto. But in the closer ranges that you're usually going to encounter enemies, you're going to be more than fine with the recoil on this. So, let's jump in to the level 50 test, which this weapon has absolutely no trouble with whatsoever. It pretty much just tears through these enemies like they don't exist. And, yeah, like, you reload super fast, you absolutely tear enemies apart. You can see some of the hit scan nature right there, just for those that are not convinced it is hit scan. It ruins them. It ruins these enemies. Like, you can hip fire this if you want. It's like, you don't even really need to ADS because you've got so many bullets like per magazine and you reload so fast. Like, it's just excellent. Like, this thing has a faster reload than the Akvasto Prime, which is a fast reloading weapon, and this has a significantly higher magazine size, which with much better damage. Like, it's just a fucking really good weapon. I have no issues with this thing. It's just very well balanced, has a lot of advantages. There's just no real issues with it one way or another. And then to show this at a higher level, just so you guys can see how it like cuts through armor and such. We'll throw these guys out here. We'll get rid of these first. Those two enemies. Regular enemies. Pretty solid. And these are Lancers. These are not like true fodder enemies. They're like the tier 2s. And then Bombards, especially if you're getting headshots here. Gonna be no issue at all to get through them. And like, it's just really good. It's just like, I know I just keep saying it's an excellent weapon, but that's really truly what it is. And you have like the true fodder enemies right there a little bit, like these two. And then on gunners, where you're actually using your bonus damage and your armor ignorance with your corrosive there. And then like these are more like actual fodder enemies that you're just going to rip through. It's just fucking efficient, man. Like, level 100 enemies, you're really not going to encounter very often, and when you do, you're going to usually have a damage buff available if you're going to be using your guns at all. So it just tears them down. It tears them down, it tears them up, it rattles their guts. That's what this weapon does, and there's not much more to say than that. So, that has been the Why Would You Use for the Gut Rattler, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Also, worth noting, I am going to be streaming tonight, and I'm going to be leveling all the rest of the kit guns that I've put together, and also getting access to my first full set of the arcanes that can go on these bad boys. So, if you want to see how that goes, that is going to be over at twitch.tv/Brozime if you want to come hang out. So, I hope to see you guys there, and later, everybody.